Hey! Hello there everybody, WhatCulture Wrestling's Adam Clery here, and I'm going to start with a question. Okay, what's got two thumbs and can't think of an intro this week? Hiya! That's right, I've got something, but I haven't really refined it properly. Anyway, NXT is no longer a wrestling show, is it? It's a social experiment, because pretty soon we're all going to come out of in our house, see what I did there, and we're going to be greeted by a world full of scary men with strange facial hair and your boss shouting at you on FaceTime and plexiglass. There you go, that's all I've got. Roll the card. Yeah, not my best work that, but then again, what is? Am I right? Anyway, NXT starts this week coming straight out of In Your House, and we set ourselves up for a seminal summer on the black and gold brand. I did that the wrong way around. And the thing is, the only thing harder than putting together a satisfying pay-per-view card in which you wrap up loads of the feuds and stories you've been doing at the start of the year is, anybody? It's putting on a follow-up episode of television that simultaneously keeps those balls rolling, but also starts loads of new things. Credit then to NXT for really feeling like it was joining up all the dots in this first segment, when Adam Cole comes out and he says, "Nobody in their right mind thought the Velveteen Dream could beat me," because... right, that's simultaneously just a thing a heel says, but also, the entire problem with the last 3 months of the booking. Nobody bought this. And that kinda does illustrate how important the next challenger for Cole needs to be, because some people will argue that it's someone who should take the NXT Championship off him, but at the very bare minimum, the absolute bottom of the rung, it just has to be someone who you believe could actually do it, because none of us really bought Dream, did we? Bobby Fish there, trying to talk into an upside-down microphone. Anyway, more on all that later though, because this segment did a lot. It kept the Cole plate spinning, it kept the Loomis plate spinning, the strong breakup of the Undisputed Era plate spinning, plus Adam Cole's just really, really good on the mic. I'm giving it an up. Oh, it's coming, isn't it? He's gonna snap. Alright, your first match of the evening, and this is not something I was expecting to say at any point, but is the real winner of this whole Mirror Universe Johnny and Candice versus the Yimitlisses family actually going to be Mia Yim? She got a fairly decent win at In Your House, which was, by the way, only her second ever takeover and her first win at one of them, and she looked $1 million in this match. She looked better than all three of the rest of them combined. Her to one side though, this is the one story coming out of TakeOver that still feels like it's got a little bit of a distance left to run. On paper, yes, Gargano, he challenged for the North American Championship. He was beaten resoundingly, so he should just go and move on. But he's such a really horrible, just slimy little heel that he'd probably get himself another chance somewhere down the line. One he deserves even less, and then win it, because it's high art this, remember? It's really good. I mean, despite the fact he quite happily watched Candice get pancaked in the process, he did beat Keith Lee here, so he could make the argument that he's 1-1 with him. Christ, he could make the argument he's 2-1 with him if he wants to go back far enough, so there's definitely another match in this somewhere, and imagine if he won. As I keep saying, this entire character is a living, breathing pastiche of all the really bad tropes in WWE's usual heel writing. And rest assured, my friends, if you should look out these windows and notice that it is overcast, should a summer fail to materialize in Britain this year, I will simply keep myself warm off all the heat from the piss that Johnny Gargano is going to boil. It's an up as well. Ta-da-da-da. I normally don't spend too much time analysing all the video packages because they're always just there and they always just do what they're supposed to, and it feels like an unnecessary distraction. But Poppy was back this week, kind of on the show, to highlight Io Shirai's victory at In Your House, and well, that's getting an up. And I know some of you hate when I do stuff like this. You're like, Adam, please make these ups and downs mean something, because nothing else in my life actually does. Can I just say, right, last week was my 5-year anniversary at WhatCulture. 5 years I've been here. Can you imagine all the things I know? And if I have not earned the right to assign a completely arbitrary, imagined, made-up plus point to a synth wave pop rock bubblegum metal artist purely because their songs are amusing to me and I like how they dovetail with a particular wrestler, what can I do? Just let me have this. Up. Right, moving on, we had another match, and it's okay. I just want to say it's fine. I understand. You don't have to feel bad. You don't have to apologise. I know exactly how you feel, because when the words Indus Sher appeared on that screen, and you sat there and you went, Indus Sher? Who's she? I did the same thing. It isn't your fault. Their introduction was before WrestleMania. They attacked Matt Riddle, they had that squash match, and the only place this push has lived on in the month since then has been on Malcolm Bivens' Twitter account, and up until very recently, even I had more followers than he did. And you know what? Fair play to NXT, because the easy thing to do would be just to assume we remember all this and just throw them into the Tag Team Championship picture, but they didn't do that. They started all over again with a capital S squash. I truly mean that, because I have been to goddamn abattoirs and seen things handled with more care and love than Mike Reed and Mikey Delby here. They donated their bodies. Anyway, bottom line here is that in a tag team division full of very good, very technical, very samey guys, these two, whatever you might think about them, add some much needed dynamism. They add variety. They add something we are not getting. This squash match, though short, reminded us of that, so it gets an up. Just an aside this, but did anybody else really enjoy Tyler Breeze gassing up Fandango by saying his first match was at WrestleMania in front of 80,000 people and he won, but at no stage did it show you who that was against. And not to brag, by the way, but that whole 32, I thought you were 27 thing, well, yeah. Oh, in case you're wondering, it's diet, exercise, and girlfriends who are always way out of my league. Alright, I've got to divide this next section up into two because it feels kind of very different. The match and the thing after it all served a different... Just sit down. Right, we'll get to Finn Balor in a second, right? But this match for Cameron Grimes really did strike me as, wow, hasn't this guy come a long way? Like, if you look at every single person on the roster now and compare that to where they were when they first moved to the USA Network, there's not many people who've come on further than Cameron Grimes. Like, let's not forget here, the guy was dismissed for a long time as just a finisher in a hat, but the guy now happily hangs with Finn Balor to the extent he can dominate segments of that match without having to be like a total cheat. He's not even really hurt by this defeat. It just shows that's the kind of level he's at now. And as well as that, the backstage segments we had before all this were quite funny, like getting hit in the jaw and selling it like it was the end of the world and then trying to chat up those two lasses but getting told off by Regal. It was genuinely a good bit of light entertainment, which we don't get enough of on NXT. The guy's character is really fully formed. So do you know what? I'm not taking it off because it's cold in here, but Cameron Grimes, that match and him in general, gets the up and the yellow jacket this week. And while that was good, I have less good news for Finn Balor, because yes, the match was great, he played a good role in it, we know he is excellent, he got that win at In Your House, but just challenging Keith Lee? Nah. I normally do my whole just, oh, hear me out guys bit at the end, but I'm just going to jump straight into the meat of this. Finn Balor challenging Keith Lee for the North American Championship does not make any shred of sense in the context of his character. This is a man who came back to NXT because in his time on the main roster, he was disgusted with the people who had stepped up to fill the void he had left. Thus, it made sense when he turned on Ciampa. It made sense when he went after Gargano. It even made sense when he went after Cole, even though they were both heels. And since then, every feud he's had has been someone going after him, so obviously he would defend himself. But him going after Keith Lee, nah. Keith Lee is currently not one of the faces of NXT. He hasn't been at the top of the card for a long time. He hasn't been in the spotlight at all since the Royal Rumble. He hasn't been squarely in the spotlight since Survivor Series. And Balor saying, well, do you know what? I've never had the North American Championship. Well, so what? It's the mid-card title here. You've never had the tag team titles either. You've never had the Women's Championship. For that matter, why do you want that? Now, here is my caveat, of course. This match will rule, but it would rule a lot more if it actually made any sense, and until they can explain this to me, it gets a down. Short and sweet little segment next as Casey Catanzaro challenges the captain of Team Kick Dakota Kai, and my god, how many harsh sounds are in that sentence. This got like 3 or 4 minutes, but it did everything it had to do. Kai needs to be rehabilitated after taking the loss at In Your House, and ideally do it without having to rely on Raquel Gonzalez, while Kacy Catanzaro, she is always good value for an underdog babyface defeat. Both of them got their stuff in TM, and that's it. Oh, and also a really enjoyable bit of character work to see Dakota Kai take the nuclear option by challenging Io Shirai for that NXT Women's Championship before then immediately getting into a brawl that's just going to lead to her and Gonzalez tag teaming against Kacy Catanzaro and Kaden Carter next week. I love the idea that she's always got her eyes up there, but it's just bogged down here because it's just where she belongs. And next... and next. I should have loved this. I really enjoyed the fact that the NXT parking lot was the most dangerous place in pro wrestling. I really love these masked attackers kidnapping wrestlers because it was something different. It was a mystery. It was a bit of intrigue. It's not what we normally get in NXT. I loved it, and I should have really loved when it turned out that after all it was El Hijo del Fantasma who was behind it all. I should have loved every single little bit of this, so why did it suck? Actually, I don't know why I'm asking that. I know why it sucked, because so much of it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you fake your own kidnapping in the first place? Who are those other two men that staged the original kidnapping? Why do you need a heel stable when you've just won an entire tournament fair and square? And finally, this is the best one. Why would you blow your big reveal, the only time you're ever going to have the element of surprise, against a 37-year-old man who is less than a foot taller than Hornswoggle? Why? Now look, don't get me wrong, I think I like what they can do with this. I just don't for a single second understand any of it. You know what, while we're here, I can't. Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar. Like, this is Michael Sidgwick's joke, not mine, but they might as well have just called him Drugs McDealer. What are they thinking? Down? Oh, and just while Drake Maverick's out here, I want to really quickly say a big thank you to everybody who tweeted me during the week to say, Adam, you're wrong. It wasn't a work. Triple H said they really did fire him, but it was just they saw the outpouring of emotion and everything on social media, so they rehired him and gave him a contract. Thank you so much for tweeting me that, because I had a £20 bet with my friend that nobody would be dumb enough to believe that, and you, yes you, won me a succulent Chinese meal. Alright, anyway, moving on as quickly as humanly possible, and your main event, and I was tempted to split this up into two sections as well, because the match and the thing after did feel kind of separate, but where you had sort of like it being Grimes' match and Balor's promo, this all kind of centered around one person who miraculously didn't even feature in it at all. Karrion Kross. Wait. Karrion Kross? Karrion Kross? I've just got that. Right, so the strong Loomis subplot, that was already well established. This match was about how Adam Cole was going to beat Dexter Loomis, not if. All it was doing was getting him over a little bit more. The guy's done fantastically well to establish himself in multiple main events during all of this. Fair play to him, but he was never going to win. You can't see this. There's people on there's people on that roof, people on that roof, and now people on that roof. It's bizarre. Now, the match was great and Dexter Loomis looked great in it, but that was not what we were here for. We were here to set up what happened afterwards. So after Adam Cole attacked Dexter Loomis after the bell, although Dexter Loomis attacked him first, I guess, so technically he's the bad guy and all this. Anyway, I digress. Velveteen Dream, he comes down, he chases off Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. Tag team match in their near future. Adam Cole is left to smugly gloat in the ring. Look at me, he seems to say, I am so great, and then the lights go out and it's Scarlet Bordeaux. Now, putting aside the fact that the more goth and sinister she gets, the closer she's starting to resemble how I would have drawn my ideal woman as a teenager. She walks down to the ramp and puts an egg timer in the ring. Everyone chants TikTok. Don't get me wrong, this is absolute primary school level visual storytelling. I cannot pat them on the back for any of this, but just that one shot of Cole being stood next to the timer with a forced perspective, and that's pretty much Adam Cole's actual height as well, while we're at it, was brilliant. And then your imagination ran away with the match, and that was brilliant. And yes, it should be too soon. It should be far too soon to put Karrion Kross in the title picture, but he just demolished Tommaso Ciampa at a pay-per-view. Him going anywhere else other than for the biggest dog in the yard, or the top dog, or whatever you want to call it, is a sideways move or a step down, and you absolutely buy the idea that he thinks he can just walk in here and take that belt. So Like I said at the start of the video, you have to buy in that the next person challenging Cole can win, and I do. Yeah, so he's gonna get his head kicked in, isn't he? He's gonna get his head kicked up into the air and then just walked. I don't know, it's gonna be violent. So there you have it, those are all the ups and downs to this week's episode of NXT. Why am I speaking so fast? Because these videos run on too long as it is, and I feel bad for our editors. Let me know what you made of it all in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I've of course been Adam Clery, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.
Oh, what a lovely list and or other video format that was. I for one sure enjoyed that list and or other video format we just watched together, but hey, out with the old and in with the new, because time has passed since then, and we're going to talk about WhatCulture Horror instead, which is our brand new channel we've just launched for all things spooky, scary, weird and wonderful. So if you like lists, we've got them. If you like news videos, we've got those. If you like podcasts, we've got those as well. So there's all sorts of treats for your list and or other video format needs you can check out on WhatCulture Horror. It's very good if I do say so myself. I like it a lot and I think you should check it out. In the meantime, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, sacrifice your firstborn child to the overalls of WhatCulture, and also check out WhatCulture Horror. Thanks for watching.